All right, folks, it's the one all you thirsty little gremlins have been waiting for. But first things first, let's relate sugar back to Sleep Token. And in order to do that, it's time for another episode of Science Lessons with Glen.
Science Lessons with Glen.
That's right, I've got a lab coat on that Artie is very excited about. And do I know where it came from? No. Do I know why it has a birthday boy badge on it? No. Am I enjoying wearing it? Also no. It's incredibly warm and I'm going to take it off right now. Right, I'm back. Let's get into it. You see, there is a ritual happening inside your body right now. And although it's silent, it is utterly precise. It's a system of supply and demand that, ironically, never sleeps. Your body is in a constant negotiation between hunger and abundance, between excess and absence, and between survival and collapse. Yeah, we're getting into the good stuff early this time. See, your blood isn't just circulating around your body, it's balancing itself. And its currency is sugar. Every second of your life, your body is performing a kind of delicate act of equilibrium. And it's doing that by maintaining the concentration of glucose in your system in a really narrow range. And the reason why it's never too much or never too little is because on the outskirts of that, once the balance breaks, there lies danger. See, too much sugar damages the system, and too little, and the mind begins to fail. So your body exists in a constant correction. If you like, we are literally in biological negotiation. So when you consume sugar, it enters your bloodstream as glucose, which is your body's most immediate form of energy. It carries it to the brain, it carries it to muscles, to the organs, basically to every cell that demands fuel. So your bloodstream becomes like a distribution network. It delivers the fuel where it's needed most. But this has to be carefully controlled because in excess, it triggers instability. And as we know through Sleep Token, instability triggers a response. So when glucose rises, the body releases a hormone called insulin, and it acts like a signal. It's a command to the bloodstream. It tells your cells, take sugar, store the energy, and kind of restore the balance. So the cells open up, glucose leaves the bloodstream, and order is restored. The system, like your system itself, stabilizes, but only temporarily, because as we know, balance is temporary and the body is never still. Energy is constantly being consumed. I mean, the brain itself demands a huge amount of fuel just to think, to remember. It's like loading coal in consistently all the time, but you have to have the right amount of coal in the furnace. Yeah, that makes sense. But the brain's different to the other organs in your system in that it can't store energy reserves. Your brain's a bit of a party animal. It lives moment to moment, just whatever energy's coming in, that's how much it can use at that point. So when your blood sugar falls, the system kind of shifts again and a different signal is sent. Glucagon. It's a call to the liver. I'm making this very Sleep Token coded today. What glucagon says to the liver is release what you have stored in there. So the liver breaks down its reserves and it sends glucose back into the blood and it feeds the body once again. The balance of supply and demand is righted again and order is restored.
Reason will prevail!
Or more accurately, balance is maintained because the cycle never stops. You don't control it, you don't feel it, but your survival literally depends on it because every single heartbeat carries fuel around your system and every breath you take supports that exchange. It rises and it gets corrected. It falls and it gets compensated. It is a constant rhythm. And when this rhythm or this balance fails, that's where the body jumps in with a sense of urgency. Low glucose triggers certain alarms in the system. Your heartbeat accelerates, your hands can tremble, and your mind becomes a little bit cloudy, a little bit unstable. And it's not that your body is uncomfortable. This isn't discomfort. It's a threat. And when the body is threatened, it responds with quiet intensity. Stress hormones, urgency, craving. The system itself demands restoration. And on the flip side, too much sugar creates a different crisis because excess sugar damages your blood vessels. It disrupts the tissues and it kind of overwhelms regulation. So your body fights excess from either side. And therein is the hidden architecture of our survival as human beings. Our bodily functions, our system is never still. It is in constant negotiation. It is always fighting for balance. And we know that Sleep Token is all about finding balance. And so this is where the biology starts to resemble something slightly more symbolic. Because this cycle of abundance and depletion and then restoration, it mirrors the story. It mirrors I'll use that word again, mirrors the architecture in the music of Sleep Token. There is a rise in intensity and then a surrender to joy, a surrender to positive sensation, and then the collapse that potentially follows. There is a dependence on what sustains it. Vessel seems to almost have just blood vessel. There is a dependence on what sustains vessel, blood vessel in this case, and that means that there is a constant return to the source of it. Our bodies, our bloodstream don't actually seek the sweetness that sugar gives. They seek the fuel that it provides, but only so much. And therein lies what this is all about. It is a worship of balance. And, if I may, for a moment, you can also relate sugar back to just to sexual experiences. Sugar and sex both activate the same body circuitry, if you like. And it's not metaphorical, it's literally neurological. Something that I've learned on my journey of neurodivergence is dopamine mining. And I rather misunderstood what dopamine actually was, because dopamine isn't a pleasure chemical. Dopamine is the anticipation and therefore motivation chemical. See, when you see one of those lovely sugary treats in what would be Greg's here, I suppose. If you haven't got a Greg's, whatever your local bakery is. So see, when you see that sugary treat, it activates dopamine because that is the anticipation. You can taste it before you taste it, and that craving builds in anticipation. When you are sexually attracted to someone, it activates the same mesolimbic pathway. Yeah, that's right. Fucking mesolimbic pathway. Glen ain't fucking about today. Dopamine increases, your heart rate goes up, you become focused on that. Your attention kind of narrows to how you want to fulfill that desire. The brain lights up before the first touch, just like the anticipation of that first bite. Oh, and we're going to get into biting plenty in Sleep Token down the line. And both of them lead to a high of sorts. And I'm going to veer away from talking about that sort of high that we're all thinking of right now. But that is also remarkably similar. Both sugar and arousal give us dopamine, which is the anticipation of a reward, followed by the release of endorphins and an oxytocin. And in the same way that you can become very focused on a lover, or all reason can go out of the window when you just really want to fuck. It's the same as when you're trying to cut sugar out of your diet, or maybe for health reasons or whatever, you're trying to stop that, but you become hyper focused on it. You become like super attached to it. Your brain begins to prioritize the source of the reward. But often after that, there is the collapse, the crash. A sugar crash manifests itself in like a glucose drop. You can get irritable afterwards. You can get tired, and you end up craving more of it. Post-coitus, your dopamine drops, your cortisol levels rise. Depending on your fulfillment and your attachment to your partner, or indeed not your partner, maybe just someone, you can get feelings of agitation and emptiness, which of course Vessel has spoken about already in EP 1 and 2 and manifests itself throughout, particularly Sundowning and This Place Will Become Your Tomb. That sweetness that you get from sugar isn't just about taste. It's chemistry.
Ooh, let's talk about chemistry.
Ooh, Ooh, we're talking about chemistry. Anyway, enough. I could fucking chat on about this all day. But yeah, lots of interesting parallels there. And why I think that it's always a good idea to dive into some of the, well, what is the etymology, what is the history, what is the science of it as well, because there is always something to just unpick at, to just put the needle in behind the thread and pull behind those sutures and see, is there more to this before we've even played a note? And inevitably, with Sleep Token, there always fucking is. So, enough science and sex ed and stuff before we get into the song. Oh, before we do, though, I would like to take a look at the sigils attached to the visualizer here, as always, before we get into listening to the song. So, let's do that right now. So, on the video so far, we've been diving into this beautifully constructed freeware document, Sundowning Sigils breakdown, which will be linked in the description below. Just as always, this is not my work. This is merely a point of discussion, which is exactly what the author of this wanted. But we've gone through all of the previous sigils. Just a reminder that we've just come out of Gods, where fucking somebody was well pissed. And indeed, if you do want to watch my video on Gods or all of the other ones, I've arranged the playlist. It'll probably be up there. Or it won't be, because I will have forgotten, because I'm a bit shit. So let's take a look at this sigil. So number 1. Now these are the parts in red, by the way, if you're following along, because yellow is the color that is used predominantly in the music video for Sugar, so it's the red one. So number 1 here, the author has written tin or perhaps Jupiter. This is in terms of the alchemical relationship that these sigils have. In order for this one to work, it needs to be rotated, but I don't see that as an issue here, especially in alchemy. Tin was associated with several things, including the tongue and saliva. Yep, that feels relevant with the song, along with the more symbolic meaning of growth. Number 2 there is lead, the primal material or base material in alchemy. Again, I've discussed a lot about alchemical. Again, if you want to go back and watch it, that's up to you. Free range human, do what you want. It's a classic idea of taking something shit and turning it. That is what alchemy was about. And in this case, as the author says, the classic idea of turning lead into gold in alchemy is not one I think I need to spend any more time on. I also love this quote here. The tragic element in poetry is like Saturn in alchemy, the malevolent, the destroyer of nature, but without it, no true aurum potable, potable aurum, or the elixir of life can be made. Number 3 here is volatile. Now, this isn't a traditional. That's the triangle here. Now, if it was a triangle that wasn't off center, then it would mean fire. But in this case, it means volatile, flipped horizontal to work. Volatile, generally meant changeable. Volatile spirits are also often referred to as airy, due to primarily being substances that turn into vapor. In alchemical drawings, winged serpents were used to represent volatile substances. I'm pointing that out since the video for Sugar does feature a snake. Oh, that'll be the second time we've seen one. But angels were often used as well. There's an entire rabbit hole you can fall down here with the symbolism use for volatile spirits. Now, the next 2 might not actually be there. I lean towards them being created by overlap rather than intent, but we shall go into that for a second. So number 4 here is, again, the full triangle, fire or phlegm. We've talked about that already, I think, back in higher. The honorary mention, because while triangles often got skewed one way or another depending on the writer, certain skews turn them into different symbols altogether. So you could have a symbol for fire here. That would be the traditional triangle. Or you could just as easily have a flipped, rotated symbol for phlegm. Take aim. It wasn't higher. It was take aim. Thank you very much, author, for reminding me when I can't. And number 5 here, which is just a little part on the bottom. Day. This is one of those variations that I've only seen once. Since it's sort of there, I'm pointing it out. And there's an extra here. There is possibly, there is no, there is absolutely 1 or 2 symbols missing here. Lead in that configuration can be drawn with the extra hook, but it isn't very common. So there may be a symbol layered in the section that I'm overlooking. If you want to add the diamond to the skewed triangle and flip it vertically, then you have a close approximation to salt water. A hollow diamond can also be used for several things on its own, including soap, brass, and glass. Salt water. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to have plenty of saltwater conversations by the time we get to this place will become your tomb. So, shall we do it? I think it's time. Let's listen to an unbelievable song from Sleep Token's 2019 Sundowning. It's all going to get a little bit in here. All right, it's time to listen to Sugar.
Twisted little game.
Oh, the voice.
I know in a way you need to complicate. Believe that though we never eat, we still know how to feed. We still know how to bleed. Oh. Sugar.
Liam again. Wow. All right. So before we dive into the music, and I'm gonna play back the whole thing today. I'd like to go through it in sections a little bit. So that's why I wanted to play the whole thing in its entirety, pretty much, before I started breaking it down. So I want to take a look at the visualizer a little bit and the music, and then we will do a dive into the lyrics. Oh, fuck me. We'll do a dive into the lyrics, all right, towards the end of this video. So let's start at the beginning. Let's take a deep dive into what's hidden in Sugar. So we've got a synth harp. Harp? It certainly sounds like that's what it's meant to be. And so immediately I get sonically from thinking of a harp. I think of angels. I think of it being like very, very, softly, catchy Vessi. But let's remember where we've just come from. We've just had Take Aim, and we've had, Give, and it's been all lovey, potentially maybe Sleep in terms of the lore. And if you watch one of my videos before as well, I just want to stress, firstly, everything that I talk about in terms of lore, all of this could be absolute bollocks. This is the beauty of Sleep Token, and I do firmly believe that the message of Sleep Token is rooted in Jungian psychology, and I do believe that it's shadow work, and I think that is perhaps the modus operandi of all of this. However, in terms of at least my accepted lore, we think something terrible happened in Nazareth, and then we got to Sundowning, which is potentially all about dementia. And indeed, all three albums could be the three stages of dementia. By that, I mean the accepted trilogy of trauma, being that Sundowning, where we are now, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, and then Take Me Back to Eden. But at this point, we've just had the nice softly Give and Take Aim. Then it appears that Vessel got really fucked off in Gods and rather exploded a little bit. Not like that. Exploded a little bit in the same way that potentially they were asked to do in Nazareth. And I think that Sugar is a reactionary song. I think that it's sung from again, just could be bollocks. I think it's sung from the perspective of Sleep. At least I believe that a lot of it is. And again, these could be duets as well. There's no telling that this is all sung from either the protagonist or the antagonist, depending on which way you want to put those rounds. So this, I think, it feels like Sugar is a bit like Sleep has seen. Oh, you got all fired up in Gods. Oh, I like when you get fired up. And it feels like maybe that Sugar is the kind of the declaration of, oh, no, okay, yeah, I like when you get angry. And so it makes complete sense for me why this should start off so sweetly and angelic, with the god kind of looking down on the vessel and going, oh, yeah, I remember why I chose you.
You play a twisted little game, but I know in a way you need to complicate.
So we'll get into the lyrics, obviously, and all of that in a moment, but I'd like to focus on the visualizer and also the vocal quality, the way this is being sung. And you play... It's right on, well, I'm a tenor, and it's right on my break. So it does sound that rather than being a chest voice or a falsetto, it's slightly a mixed voice. So that gives it a, and you play. It's very thin. You twisted little game. So it's almost like slightly retracted, and so it sounds really soft and delicate, rather than it being and you play, which would be like, a chest voice. But it's just airing from his the man behind the mask's mixed voice into his falsetto. So it's very comforting. It's very suited to what is happening here, because it's seductive. It feels like it's quite a seductive quality of voice, which obviously would match exactly what we're seeing on the visualizer, and also the message I think that we're trying to get across. Those hands clasps together as well.
Still know how to
even the visualizer, the little, you know, the little that lady where she just opens, you know, it's that little glint in the eye. There is potentially foreplay happening here. There is, you know, the bit before the bits, the kind of the seduction is happening. The best way I can think of is the first, I don't know, 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of this song, a foreplay, and then we get some hard dicking at the end. That hand is mirrored again at the end of the video. So the vocal quality slightly changes when we get to the chorus, and it's a bit more purposeful. There's a bit more chest, but also there's it's multi-tracked there as well. So we get this kind of warm, enveloping feeling. I would like to just highlight one thing as well, which I'd never thought of before. The entirety of this is yellow, and yellow is the color for greed, right? I'm sure that's I'm sure it's greed that yellow is associated with, and perhaps that has a bearing too. Also, if people do want to put in the comments below, you know, your opinions, your comments on the visualizer, particularly where some of this footage comes from. We know from some of the deep dives that we've done on Twitch before that that a lot of this is stock footage that has been manipulated, but it's always interesting to learn exactly where it comes from. And we also get above the melody line being played as well on a very like a very high-end piano synth. So we're all very, very musically dreamy and quite seductive at this point. Oh, and there's not one real instrument thus far. Everything is synthetic. I think that's worth thinking about. I'll let you know exactly when I believe that the first instrument potentially comes in, but everything's synthetic, exactly that. Right, you know that voice at the end of Infinite Bass? We've talked about that dragon voice, that big, overarching, fucking huge, like, roar that comes over sometimes where we think that the presence of sleep is upon us. That it's really ominous, that "show me what you do." Now, obviously, we're going to get to the lyrics in a moment, but I can't help but feel it makes me feel like a man sat at a strip bar, like throwing money down and just being like, "Come on, show me what you do." It suddenly takes on a more ominous tone with the addition of this. Because it isn't the full voicing of isn't "show me what you do." It's like it's a bit more animal. It feels not synthetic, like animal, and like there is something baring its teeth and saying, "Show me what you do." Tonight, we're second guessed again. Let me wrap the chains, addicted to the pain. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to sing that harmony line in their car as well, but I get it wrong every fucking time. That is really tight to sing that. Oh, I've got my keyboard. We get these little riffs, and this is important because I wouldn't call Vessel a riffer. He's a bit of a stepper when it comes to stepping between notes. There's not a lot of slides. Cool, my sibilant S really came out then. Slides. Fuck me. There's not a lot of slides up between notes. It's often a step. And so to have this little run that he does down, we're going to get more of that in a moment. That rather lends itself to as our sonic oral experience of this song. If you've never listened to it before, you can tell with those runs that there is a sultriness here behind it. This is obviously just the BPM, even just the digital drums, the synths. It's all quite warm and inviting, I think, at this point. And also the juxtaposition of the word he's singing pain. He's made it sound sexy. Massive hand. It's a big hand. That's how I roll. I'm not deliberately edging you. We'll get to it. Calm yourselves. Right, I know. Just allow it. The word I wrote down there twice, in fact, listening to this bit, is how purposeful it becomes. That now, rather than that breathy seductive, it's a, do you want to, this is pointed. And it changes in the, excuse me, apologies, had some wind. It changes the style. Instead of the head voice, sugar, we suddenly get, do you want to, in chest voice, right? Do you want to see how far it feels like, whoa, the mood's just changed a little bit. So now I've got you in the room and I'm not going to let you move. And a lot of this song, I think, has to do with consent as well, and where the line is between these two characters on where consent moves, and whether or not at times it's a fluid thing, or at times the protagonist, I imagine, is being literally restrained, and whether or not this is a question of consent here in the song. But there is also then a second voice that comes in on the repeat, which is the harmony above, which just literally sweetens it a little bit. Do you want to see how far it goes? Like there's prodding, and then there's just a little bit of the reminder of the sweetness with it as well. I'll go back. I'm not going to fucking ruin it. Still not a real instrument in this song yet. All big, dirty synths. Not a lot of bass as well, all very top end. All right. So we get the first real instrument that comes in. Well, the only real instrument that I can fully identify in this. I don't even think that the bass may just be played on a synth. I'm sure. I know Live 3 plays it, but it still sounds like on the original recording on the track, the only thing that comes in is live drums. That I can hear. It might just be an effect on a pedal, numerous pedals, numerous plugins, all sorts of shit that are readily available to music artists nowadays. But the repetition of Sugar, never once. Yes, Artie. Each time Sugar is sung here, it is sung in a different melody and also with a different way. It is sung in a different quality. Because that isn't distorted, but it's wide. It's a really well. It isn't sugar. It's sugar. It's A-H. S-U-G-A-H. H-H-H-H-H-H. It's a big wide. It's like a Cheshire cat smile. It is like the Joker. It is like all of a sudden that mouth opens and we get this, oh shit, like looking into fucking Pennywise's mouth. Second time's the little riff, and then we nearly go out of tune here. I love that's my favourite one because it's so wide and it's so like emotionally connected to it. I know he's just singing the word sugar, but it almost goes so wide that it's like this leering beast over the top of you that is singing about, you know, what it wants from you. And we're going to get to that in the lyrics in a moment. Oh, fuck, there's so much to talk about. Also, the smile. We can't let this go. Let me just put it on mute for a second to show you because the smile that happens here, we're on Give Up the Game is when you just watch it like this, is it an authentic smile? I don't know. It's one of the bits of the visualizer that fascinates me the most. Is that an authentic smile, or is that the smile of somebody who's about to do something potentially pretty naughty? Let's listen to it. No, I think there might be live guitars actually. I'll take it back. Then we revert back into the flat kick, which takes us, so we drive a little bit here. Get what I'm getting at? So the kick drum changes here as well, whereas we've been really laid back on the kind of like, you know, floaty, quite sensual, digi, electronic drums up till this point, and then we get the chorus where it's quite aggressive. And yes, I do believe that there's a live guitars and possibly live bass on there as well. I fucking hope they are, because you know I love live instruments over anything programmed. But then 2 on his right foot starts playing a straight kick. And I know it's trite to say this, but we're fucking at this point, and we're building and building and building, and we're going to get to, we're in, if you like, the orgasmic throes. We're in the vinegar strokes of the song at this point. We're fucking building to that conclusion. But rather than that aggressive vocal quality, the repeat goes back into this rather softer head voice. It's not that purposeful, aggressive voice anymore. I love that passage now. And we've got the repeat in the background. Things we buried low coming to the surface, now my low. Just there, lightly panned off in the mix. And then there is, just in the background, a scream that very slightly, I think panned up, like up here somewhere, panned to the left, that takes us into the post-coital chat. Because it certainly feels like we build and build and build, and then we get to here. the harp comes back, and the hand from earlier on kisses the sky. Oh! Okay, right. Oh, fuck, hang on. 2 seconds. We spoke about this on the stream when we first did a deep dive into Sugar, and for the life of me, I can't... I think somebody said it was Hebrew. Please, if somebody knows in the comments what the symbol is there on the bracelet, please do. If anybody has any context for that, I would be deeply grateful. But yes, musically, we move from that build, crescendo. I know not every song needs an orgasm. You know, I like that, particularly in musical theatre, when you get a proper song where we build and build and build, we get our orgasm, then we get our post-coital chat. Sometimes songs can build to an orgasm and there isn't any, you know, having a quick cigarette and a chat afterwards. You know, you don't just come and get in the Uber. You have to fucking, you know, enjoy the whole experience. And that's rather what this harp gives us just when it drops out at the end here. It gives us that softening, but also we do seem to drift off a little bit in terms of the way we've got soft chords, just octave notes actually, and then the little oscillation in the background, and we don't fade out. The tone shifts, the tone drops, but we do just get this, and underneath that, whirring, almost liquid oscillation. And if I'm right in thinking, I think that oscillation, that synth repeat, that like beat underneath, I think that's used somewhere else in Sleep Token. I swear that is in another song. Anyway, enough about this. Let's get into it. Let's get into these fucking hell. Let's get into these lyrics. Alrighty, folks. So, the lyrics. Let's just fucking dive into it. And you. Oh, by the way, if you've never, if you've never listened to one of my videos before, sometimes I like to pull these out rather than just how they sat in the melodic construction or the musical syntax, and have a look at them as like a monologue or potentially a duologue or a conversation or whatever. But yes, here we go. And you play a twisted little game. But I know, in a way, you need to complicate. Believe that though we never eat, we still know how to feed. We still know how to bleed. Oh. We start off with, and. Vessel, what are you doing to me, mate? So many times we get and at the beginning. We get this is a continuation of a story. And it's something's happened. We got to gods, like I said before. Gods has happened. And it's not, we don't start with you play. It's and you play. Totally different. That use of and as a preposition, or no, a coordinating conjunction. Oh, I don't actually know. But that use of and tells us that we're pulling and we're moving the story along, and you play. Now, for the benefit of this, up to a certain point, I'm going to assume that this, and I think, again, all my theories could be bollocks, I believe that this is sung from the perspective of Sleep, or the antagonist in this relationship between, as we are led to believe, a man called Vessel who worships a deity called Sleep and has been promised glory and magnificence if indeed they follow them. So, and again, discuss in the comments below if you believe that if Sleep Token success is indeed the glory and magnificence, and if that is how it ultimately played out. Anyway, and you play a twisted little game. Twisted Little Game. So not a. This is a little bit like thumbing down on. It's your twisted little game. If you say to somebody you're playing a twisted little game, I don't think that you're particularly fond of them at that point. And so, even though it's sung in a very sweet manner, and you play a twisted little game, the onus, therefore, is on whoever is singing this song, on the person that they are singing it to. It's you are playing a twisted little game. But I know, in a way, you need to complicate. It's a little bit aloof in that manner. I understand why you're doing it. Yes, you have to do this. You have to play it this way. Now, if I may, because I haven't talked about the Shadow yet today. I know I've been very good. I've only mentioned Jungian once. Damn it, that's twice. Don't ever play that. Somebody in the comments of one of my videos said you should play a drinking game every time I talk about Jungian. Well, listen, don't, because on some videos you're going to be fucking hammered. Imagine that it is the Shadow talking up to the ego going, I know, you have to play a twisted little game. You have to deal with the fucking persona, that thing that you put out on Instagram and social media and tell your friends how well everything's going or whatever. You're not your authentic self. I know you have to play this weird twisted little game while I'm down here languishing, when actually you should be diving into me, bring me up, and then we could be our essential self. Anyway, there you go. Shadow work in fucking 15 seconds. And you play a twisted little game, but I know it's like there is a lot of knowing in Sleep Token as well. I wish I could go through every time that they say, at some point I will add it up, or somebody else can do it for me. Somebody's got a spreadsheet somewhere. How many times these characters say they know, and yet they fucking know nothing. They say they know all the time. I know how I woke up. I know now how I woke up on the shoreline. It's all over Sleep Token's discography. They seem to be all knowing, and yet never truly know anything. So I know, in a way, you need to complicate. And I can understand why the Shadow would speak to the ego like that and be like, I get it. You've got to overcomplicate things. Otherwise, just accepting me wouldn't happen. It isn't an easy task. Individuation and diving into one's shadow and doing shadow work, going through therapy, if you like, psychotherapy, is hard. So I can get why you want to, not always play the game. But we're going to get into fucking playing the game in a second. And this is another reason why I believe this comes from the perspective, and this is one of my favorite lyrics in the whole song here. Believe, as in believe me, that though we never eat, we still know how to feed. We still know how to bleed. Now, from the perspective of a god, which I think this is from the deity called Sleep, speaking to a man called Vessel. Believe me, that though we never eat, we're gods, we do not need to imbibe, rather like angels, Alan Rickman in Dogma, loves booze, but can't swallow it because they don't imbibe, they don't eat, but they still know how to feed. Now, you don't necessarily feed on just sustenance, I mean physical, meat and drink, food and water. You don't necessarily, but you can feed off something, or you can have, let's not go too Twilight about this, but you can have vampiric tendencies as well. But this is the line that fascinates me, and I'd like to talk about it for a second. We still know how to bleed. Now, certain gods can bleed. I think particularly Greek gods, was it Ichor or something? They had like what was considered like a divine blood that when they were hurt, they would bleed. There are certain gods that allegedly can bleed. But you can bleed something else. You can bleed someone. You can bleed something. And that's always, I think, how I'm going to interpret this, is that it isn't, we still know how to bleed. We still know how to, cut and bleed ourselves. But we can bleed, we can bite into you and we can bleed you dry. That is the way I interpret it. But also, it doesn't necessarily denote that they actually do bleed. We still know how to bleed. We just don't do it. So again, open to interpretation there. And we get to the first chorus. Sugar, I've developed a taste for you now. Now, developing has numerous different connotations. If you want to take a really connotations, the meanings, if you want to dive into it further, you develop film, you develop diseases, you develop all sorts of things. But when you develop a taste for someone, it means that over time, you didn't have a taste for it. Right, I never used to like Irish whiskey. Now I love it. It's my favorite spirit. I was always a clear spirit drinker, and then, but I don't get Scotch whiskey at all at the moment. My palate hasn't developed enough. I don't understand peatiness. It doesn't give me the fizz like Irish whiskey does. So I haven't developed a taste, and I may, because our taste buds change all the time. I may develop a taste for Scotch whiskey down the line, but right now I've only developed a taste for Irish whiskey. So over time, you develop tastes for things. So this has been a process. This is, you weren't to my taste before, but I've developed a taste for you now. So have the actions of the vessel or the protagonist here, have the actions, has their conduct, has the way that they've presented themselves, because it makes perfect sense to me, at least artistically and in terms of like script writing, that after the explosion that was Gods has happened, that now Sleep looks like, oh, you got all fired up. Oh, I like when you get fired up. I like what you did in Nazareth, when you did my bidding. That developing of taste has happened over a period of time. But we're going to get to where that changes in a moment. Now, so verse 2, my arms keep you in the room, barely let you move. Show me what you do. Tonight, we're second guessed again. Again, there's a lot of agains in Sleep Token. Let me wrap the chains, addicted to the pain. Oh, so much to fucking unpack here. So my arms keep you in the room. I put my arm across in front of the door ledge and go, nope. Or I literally physically restrain you and hold you here. The room as well. Which fucking room? The bedroom? I believe that's rather intimated. But which room? The room. It isn't explained completely. Barely let you move. There is restraint, and this is where my comment about consent earlier on comes in, because you can agree on certain things together. Listen, I'm sure a lot of people out there have their own, safe words. You might have your own Oklahoma. But barely let you move. So it's like a snake that wraps itself around. It's like you are constricted. And obviously that in itself has a lot of different connotations when we talk about Eden and the birth of man, etc., or the birth of consciousness in man. Let me wrap the chains. Oh, sorry. My apologies. I jumped ahead. Barely let you move. Show me what you do. Do that thing you did in Nazareth. Do that thing you did in God. Show me what you do. Or maybe show me what you do in terms of performance. Like, isn't Sleep Token meant to be that this band of vessels go around the world spreading the word of sleep? Maybe every time there is a ritual, and therefore we, as the audience, worship, it strengthens the God. It makes sleep stronger. So show me what you do. Show me what you're best at, vessel. Go and do that. Go and dance around like a sexy goblin twat on stage. Go on. Go and do all that. Show me what you do best, because that's where it turns me on. That's where it makes me, because apparently, we're led to believe up to this point, sleep is constantly abandoning a vessel. When vessel wakes up in the morning, that sleep is no longer there. And therefore, it would make sense that when sleep goes, no, you're going to stay in the room. You're going to stay here with me. Now, show me what you do. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of that in there. Tonight, so we're in the nighttime. We're second guessed again. This is a puzzling line for me. Me and you, are second guessed again. So when you second guess yourself, let's just try and break this down. If you second guess yourself, it means that you thought that you had it right. And then you're like, no, maybe I didn't have it right. Oh, fuck, I'm starting to second guess myself. So again, this has happened before. So whatever you were convinced of, you keep on going, oh, maybe not. Now that would be, again, going back to the dynamics of the relationship that we spoke about like in the opening, even with the sugar balance, is it right? Oh no, maybe I need a bit more of this. No, we've gone there. No, we need to bring it back. It is potentially the search for balance there. Now that is, it's not got a question mark attached to it, but it's the first time we've had something slightly more consensual. But let me wrap the chains. Let me restrain you even more, like fucking cold cuts hanging from from the ceiling in a freezer room. Let me wrap the chains. Let me. I know some of you will have much more filthy interpretations than I do, but that's your bag. Listen, I don't yuck anybody else's yum. Addicted to the pain. Oh, addicted to the pain. So, who's addicted to the pain? You, the protagonist, me, the antagonist? Is it that Sleep is aware that Vessel actually likes this? Because that explosion in gods would dictate that, wow, I really got to you. Maybe you do like this. Is it, if we go down, and this is where I have to enter a slightly not dodgy territory, but I'm going to talk about hurting oneself for a moment. If you would like to skip away for a minute, I shall keep it just into a minute. See you in 60 seconds. If you don't want to talk, see you in 60 seconds. Many people who have issues with hurting themselves talk about the addiction to the release, to the endorphin rush. I didn't talk about this when I was talking about sugar and sex earlier on at the beginning of the video, because I don't think it needs too much like magnifying glass on it. But one can become addicted to bloodletting and the high that it brings, or the feeling that it gives the person who is doing this. So in that respect, it's the first time I think that we really get a little nod to that, because glucose, sugar, is carried by the blood. There is certainly scope here with which to think about this from a point of view of somebody harming themselves as well. Anyway, the blood's mainly iron. That's why it tastes of pennies. There's very little. I think it's like 1 gram of glucose per like 5 liters of. Anyway, yeah, right. Hi, welcome back, everyone who didn't want to. Anyway. Or you did. It was fine. Sugar, I've developed a taste for you now. Sugar, I've developed. So we are still in the developing stage. And then all of a sudden, it takes a little bit of a turn. Do you want to see how far it goes? Do you want to test me now, my love? You must be crazy if you think that I will give in so easily. Things we buried low are coming to the surface now, my love. You must be crazy if you think that I will give up the game. All right, let's fucking talk about that, shall we? Because we mentioned here, and you play a twisted little game. Cool. And now the antagonist, or maybe not, maybe it is the Vessel, maybe the perspective of this has changed. You must be crazy if you think that I will give up the game. Now, there's loads of different ways. Right, let's think about this from a lore perspective, from Vessel and Sleep. Let's say this is Sleep. Do you want to see how far it goes? Do you want that? Almost feels a little bit, considering what we were just talking about. Isn't that a bit like pushing somebody to potentially do something? to see how far it goes? I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes down. Do you have to follow the white rabbit? Do you want to see how far it goes? Is it literally a sexual thing? Do you want to see how far I can push you, or because do you want to test me now, my love? But these are questions. Do you want to? Do you want to test me? That isn't a question though. That's a fucking threat, right? Do you want to test me now, my love? Vessel doesn't say my love like that. Vessel says it with sincerity and like emotional maturity, or there is what's the word I'm looking for? There's depth and meaning behind when he would say something like that. But when Sleep does that thing where, it's just a little bit, it's again, saccharine. It doesn't feel authentic. So do you want to see how far it goes? Do you want to test me now, my love? While Vessel I would imagine, would love to hear Sleep call them my love. Do you want to, but you can't say to somebody, do you want to test me now, my love? Like, that's not, I don't see a way that can be spun in an emotionally positive way. It feels very foreboding. Do you want to see how far it goes? Do you want to test me now, my love? You must be crazy if you think that I will give in so easily. Like, what? That's proper emotional manipulation in a way. Things we buried low are coming to the surface now, my love. You must be crazy if you think that I will give up the game. Now, the game. What is the game? I mean, the game, at least as far as I'm, when somebody just says the game, two things. Either my old boss, Triple H, or the game, being on the game, which is the oldest profession in the world. But in this context, I would just like to reframe this whole thing for a second. Let's talk about it as if it's the shadow talking to the ego. Do you want to see how far it goes? Do you want to come down into the muck? Do you want to test me now, my love? Because I love you. We're together. I'm the shadow. You are the ego. We are one of the same self. Sorry, he's running around, so I'm trying to give him a tickle. You must be crazy if you think I would give in so easily, because I'm not going anywhere. Your shadow is not going anywhere. Things we buried low. Me, motherfucker! I'm the shadow. I'm the things you buried low. Coming to the surface. Yeah, you can't keep them down forever. You cannot deny me and be doomed. It's fucking Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's that you can't deny me, because it'll always keep coming to the surface until you take the steps with which to embrace your shadow, with which you become your essential self. Because you must be crazy if you think I'll give up the game. And whatever game we're playing, this twisted little game that I know you have to play because you don't want to accept me, I'm not giving up. Eventually, you are going to have to accept me. And the only way that you're going back to Eden is if we become our essential self. That is individuation. That is ultimately ascension. And then the lyrics change. Sugar, I've got a taste for you now. None I've developed. Oh, I've developed. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, no, now. No, I'm all in. All right, I've got a taste for you now. And if I've got a taste for you, if this indeed is the antagonist, or indeed in an imbalanced relationship, if this was to be, Sleep being the aggressor, if you like, in this relationship, once they say they've got a taste for you, then they have latched on. They have sunk their teeth in. I've got a taste for you now. And that makes sense in this part of the music, with how it's presented, how it's sung, how it's not a development, it's there. We are ready. We are on the precipice. Whatever, again, all of my interpretations could be bollocks, but at this point, we are on the precipice of it being got, of us coming together, of us achieving something. Yeah, I don't know. I think, again, it's a stunning song, and it has because of, and I didn't really mention this at all, there's lots of lips and teeth and tip of the tongue. There's lots of tasting here. There you can feel the lips. You can hear the change in the vocal quality that makes it sultry. There is it is embroiled in sex and attraction and developing a taste for someone. And of course, we know that Vessel, the man behind the mask, rather loves to talk about mouths. Bloody hell, like in fucking 3/4 of the Sleep Token songs, I think mouths are referenced. Anyway, fucking hell, we've been chatting about this for weeks, apparently. I don't know how long this is. Anyway, hi, everyone. Thank you for... Hi, because I've not just been here for an hour. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, as always. You are free-range humans. You can do what the fuck you want. For you to spend your time watching these videos and me blather on about my interpretations of it, I really do appreciate it. On screen now are truly my most appreciated people, literally talking about lifeblood, the fucking lifeblood of everything that I create. Without all of my members on Ko-fi, I just wouldn't be able to spend time doing this, to research all the stuff and talk to, like, I spoke to a friend of mine who works in, hang on, it's phlebotomy. That's it. They're a phlebotomist, which is a lovely word. But yeah, thank you. If everyone who's a member on Ko-fi, really, I couldn't do these videos without you. And especially not this week, because we're moving house. I know I've taken a few hours to just sit here and sweat for a bit. But no, I was doing research yesterday while we were... Anyway, whatever. Thank you to everybody who is a member on Ko-fi. Like, literally, like, as I say, the lifeblood. I couldn't make these videos without you. In case you don't know, we don't make any money on YouTube. Anybody who uses... The moment we use copyright... And I'm fine with that. Anybody who uses copyright music or talks about it, even though we can make it as transformative as we want. And it's right there in the rules on YouTube that, you know, we make it transformative, taking a 4-minute song and turning it into over an hour's worth of analysis apparently is not transformative enough. So fuck my drag, right? So if you'd like to support me, you can become a member on Ko-fi. I think it's £6 a month to become a member. You get access to hundreds of hours of exclusive videos, all the VODs from Twitch as well, which are only available to my members. You get early access to my videos. You get access to the members only Discord, where people talk about music and art and Sleep Token and all that good stuff as well. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who continues their subscription month on month. I can't say thank you enough for allowing me to keep doing this, because I love making these videos and I love these deep dives. Oh, and also we're on Twitch all the time as well. Yeah, I know it sounds mental, but we do actually go deeper into songs than even this over on Twitch. So yeah, so if you'd like to become follow me there or become a subscriber there as well, and you get a load of little extras too. You get discounts to, oh yes, you get a discount, all my Twitch subscribers get discounts to my merch store as well. I know we've got merch, and we've got brand new merch. I'm wearing it right now. This is the Empathy's Power metal design, and it's got the death metal flamingo on the back and a free range human and all that good. Yeah, if you want to go and have a look there as well. Obviously Ko-fi is the best way to support me, and you get loads of extras too. But I know people really love these designs, and I use obviously I take a lot of care in it myself, but also I make sure that people in the community who are fantastic artists as well get the opportunity to make stuff, and of course get compensated for their work, because everyone should be fucking paid for hard work. Yeah, cool. So what's next? Fucking hell, we've got. Well, what's next is I need to do some vocal analysis. Yeah, in case you haven't seen as well, if you like this video and you're at all interested, I'm doing the isolated vocal breakdowns of all of the Sleep Token songs, as well as kind of a companion series to these. Obviously, they're not as long. You can find those. There's playlists, there's all sorts. You're on YouTube. Fucking me. You literally, you're here already. You can find it if you want to click on my name. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for watching this. And thank you so much for continuing to support me. We are moving house at the moment, so everything is... you can't see this, but this is the only bit I've left because everything else is either in boxes or already fucking gone to the new house. Got to sort the internet there. Got to do loads of stuff. Anyway, fucking blathering. Thank you, everyone, for watching these. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative or entertaining, or both. I hope that's how you do it. So, see you for the next one. There's all stuff everywhere. Yeah, you do it. Free range human. Go and do what you want, and have a lovely week. And I shall see you for the next one.